Hello and welcome to the Pause It podcast. I am Dr. Sam, and with me as always is Dr. Robert. How are you doing, Dr. Robert?
Hey guys, how's everybody doing this morning?
And we have a guest today, which is our absolute favorite, which we love so much. And this is Keri Gans from Peterra Kitchen. Thank you so much for coming to join us today.
My pleasure. It's so much fun to be here.
We absolutely love having people come on, especially when they have really exciting things to tell us about. So I'm pretty excited. And I know not everybody tunes in on YouTube and gets to see what we're showing, but I would really like to show that I just got in the mail some things that are very, very fun and they look really great. So if you don't mind sharing with us kind of what Peterra Kitchen is, how did you get here? What is your story? We want to hear everything.
So much to tell. How much time? Well, Peterra Kitchen, basically what we call ourselves, which we are a woman-owned, Brooklyn-based, 100% plant-based, organic pet treat company. That's us.
I love it.
A mouthful.
Let's repeat that back to me. Do good and good for our pets, which we all love dearly. And I'm, speaking to the choir, preaching to the choir here.
Yeah, right.
So good for our planet. So the two very, very important things. And what we did was, it all began when I was born. No, I'm kidding. No, it all began because Jackie, my partner, is a registered dietitian and a chef. And she happened to have brought her cat to the vet, even though baby Duke hates going to the vet.
Aww.
And he was diagnosed.
Most cats do.
He was diagnosed as, wait for it, fat.
Yeah.
So he was actually diagnosed as a fat cat.
Right.
And Jackie was like, oh my God, I have this cat. He has inflammation, blah, blah, blah. I'm a registered dietitian. I should know what to do.
Right.
Okay. I know what to do for humans. I should know what to do for baby Duke. And anyway, she created this amazing recipe that actually ended up decreasing inflammation in baby Duke. So I should say his chin was puffy, which I didn't really notice, but she said it was. And then it all of a sudden got better. And fast forward, she loved this recipe that she had created with all human grade ingredients, nothing artificial added, really made with herbs and spices. It was high in fiber, so it was good for the gut. It was high in fiber as well, which helps fill you up, which was also then good for weight management. Anyway, I get a puppy like the rest of the world during COVID.
Yep.
Okay. But I was planning on getting him before. COVID just happened to coincide. I always have to do that little.
Sure.
Same with me, to be perfectly honest with you. I have a COVID puppy, so no judgment, but we were planning to get him before the world shut down.
Yes. I always just like that little PS. I don't know why, but I feel it's important. I don't want to be like everybody else. Anyway, I get this puppy and Jackie was like, I'm going to welcome Cooper into your lives with some baked cookies. So she had this recipe that she changed slightly for Cooper and then made him cookies. And then here we are in the middle of COVID and a light bulb went off. We're like, wait a second. We have this amazing recipe that we've already seen what it can do for cats. We know how much Cooper loves it. And I'm a crazy dog mom and I'm constantly looking for healthy treats for Cooper. And I'm like, wait a second. I think we have a business here. Jackie and I had known each other for over 20 years, both as registered dietitians. And we're like, wait a second, maybe we can do something with this. Fast forward, Peterra Kitchen was born. But now here's the thing I'd like people to know. So we launched with the baking mix. Now we did, just so everybody knows, we didn't just have this baking mix and put it into pouches and sell it.
Right.
We had it approved by veterinarian pet nutritionists.
Okay.
We had to make sure that every herb and spice that went in there was safe in the right amounts. So AFCO approved amounts for our dogs and cats. So that was very, very important for us. We're not just going to, well, it worked for, it's okay for baby Duke and it's okay for Cooper, but what about all the other dogs and cats out there?
Yeah, before you put something out there, you want to know, especially as a registered dietitian, you know how dangerous fly-by-night fad things can be. You didn't want to be part of that.
You mean we weren't calling it keto? No, keto is popular still. But we're not.
It's like we've touched a nerve there.
Not doing keto. Okay, we feel grains are important. Anyway, so but interesting enough, we are plant-based. And the reason for that, we're not 100% plant-based meal. We're
Right.
100% plant-based treat. And we did that because of the environmental impact that the meat diets of dogs and cats have on our environment. It's like 13.6 million cars on the road, something crazy. So anyways, part of our journey, we also we have this baking mix. Now, probably if I'm being honest, maybe we would have brought it out as ready to eat treats to begin with, but that just wasn't in the cards. That would have taken a lot more time. And we're like, you know what? Baking has become popular. People care about their pets. They bake for their children. It's also a fun activity to do with children. I think people might want to actually bake it the way Jackie did. And we launched it as a baking mix, as opposed to the finished product. But if I fast forward on our journey, the finished product is what people are like, oh my God. I mean, people love to bake, but I'll be honest, not everyone. Not everyone. I mean, I don't really love to bake. I will bake. I will bake for Cooper.
Right.
Not my husband. Forget about it. Okay, I'll do anything for Cooper, but not for my husband. Anyway, not listening, is he? But no, he already knows this. So we decided baking mix, get it out there, put it in compostable packaging as part of our environmental, that whole stuff that I just said. Get it out there, see what happens. And it's been an amazing journey because we've learned a lot. We have learned a lot. You know, you don't just put a product out there and say, okay, world, here we are.
Yeah.
I wish it was that simple. I wish it was simple. So the journey has been, one, we changed packaging midway because the packaging we originally used wasn't holding up on the shelves. So we had to change it. So the packaging that you so beautifully held up, Sam.
I really love it. It's really substantial and very nice. and I like the design as well.
So we changed midway, came out with this in August. So it's fairly new in the new packaging. It's way more sturdy.
Very sturdy.
We didn't realize that rice, which was our first made out of rice paper, was not as sturdy. So we got it out there. Now we have our home compostable packages, which we're very proud of.
Right.
And then we've also found along the way that, like I said just before, not everybody likes to bake, but they love the finished product. So what we're hoping is, as we can grow with the baking mixes, get enough of revenue from that to help them fund the next chapter, which would be to bring out ready to eat treats. So that's
great.
Would be the next. And some people, trust me, will always want the baking mix because the baking mix is fun.
Right.
And it's just, and you can fill it. I mean, Sam and I were having this conversation before we went live about she's going to make it with her kids.
Yes, and I was just going to say, we are all ready to make these this weekend. So
and fun fillings. So even though we have all these amazing ingredients that this cookie, or which we'll get it because I want to describe the difference between the cat and the dog in a moment.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But with the dog one, we're talking about fillings. That's because it's very easy to make these pouches, to make these cookies. All you do is add water. Robert, you paying attention? Because I think you're going to be able to do this.
I struggle. You're going to ask my mom. She knows, you'll never feed yourself one day. I was like, I know.
Wait, are you related to my husband? Anyway, basically all you do is add water, mix, and then you make them into these little balls. And then you take your fingerprint, your thumb, that's why they're called thumbprint cookies, because we also, I'm going to ask the two of you the question. Do you know thumbprint cookies in the human world?
They're my favorite cookies growing up. Though you push them like my mom and I used to. So that's
Western thing. Is it a Midwest thing? I'm wondering, because Jackie swore everybody knows thumbprint cookies, and I did not. Sam, do you know?
Growing up, I did not, but they're everywhere here. Yes, so I do think that might be, and I am from New York originally as well. So there you go.
Well, I was like, how come I don't know? Anyway, because of the humanization, and again, so important in today's world with our pets is the humanization. So you make these thumbprint cookies with your thumb, or you can make little ones with your pinky if you want it.
Yeah.
And then after you bake them, they have that little, like, what do we call
The
it?
cavitation.
Yeah.
Thank you. Little indentation. So you can fill it, and you can do it based on whatever your whim is, or like for the holiday, like we're recommending for Halloween and for Thanksgiving, you use the pumpkin color, and plus pumpkin, now you're adding extra fiber.
Yeah.
Good nutrients, rich in antioxidants, which we're all about, which helps decrease inflammation in the body, humans and pets. And so you can
but not pumpkin pie filling, because that's too much sugar. This is actual pumpkin.
Good clarification.
Just to say.
Thank you for that, because we also one of the things, no added sugars.
Right.
We don't believe if your pet doesn't need it, why feed it to them? There's no benefit to, and if you get the flavor right, it's not like how, we think with kids, well, we need to add a little sugar so they'll like it. Trust me, your pet doesn't need a little sugar to like it.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, let's just be truthful here.
Yes.
So yes, you can fill it with anything that you want. Now, the difference between the cat and the dog. So the dog is cookies that you bake. The cat one is baked into a botanical bark. Also now trying to be kind of human-like, there's chocolate bark.
Yep.
So we made this botanical bark. So all you do once again is add water, but now you put it into a 8x8 baking pan, silicone preferred, so it doesn't stick.
Okay.
And then afterwards, you take the slab, you cut it into smaller slabs, and eventually you cut it down into 72 little pieces of bark. Now, you can give it to your cat as a treat. Some love it that way, but some, and I don't like to get down on cats, they're a little pickier than dogs.
Yes.
Say.
Yeah.
And those pickier cats, we don't want them to miss out on the nutritional benefit of our bark. So with them, you either can break it and put it as a little meal topper, or mix it into their food. Because even though we're calling it a treat, it's a treat that's also good for you.
Right. It's a nutrient.
We couldn't decide at the beginning what we were even going to call these, because sometimes treat, at least in the human world, doesn't always have the best connotation. We wanted people to feel that they are, giving their dog or their cat something nutritional.
Right.
And whether you give it to them as a treat or a meal mix-in, that's up to you, but the benefits are there.
That's very cool. Did you struggle to find veterinarian nutritionists that would help you? Like, was that a hard journey, or were people just like, hey, yeah, let me look at what you're doing? How did that work out? Because I wonder if that was hard.
That was not hard. We've had way harder journeys. Because there's companies that do it. There are companies that have pet veterinarian nutritionists, and they will look at your recipe, and they will decide, and if it can get approved. Then we also had to send it off to get a nutritional analysis done, which was also very important for us. But those were not part of the journey, the hard part of the journey. Part of the hard part of the journey, if I'm being honest, besides the packaging kind of mishap, who hasn't had it?
Everybody does. Yep.
Everybody does. It's getting people to understand that it's so easy to make. I mean, if you go to our website and you watch our video, you'll, like, a light bulb will go off. It's like, this is not difficult.
Right.
And it stands on the shelf in a retail store. People look at it, baking mix. Well, I don't know. What do I do with this? There's a little bit of a disconnect now at pop-ups when we were there to sell it. And yes, afterwards I got offered a job in the pet store.
There you go.
Anyway, I was like, no, I think I got my plate full at the moment.
Yeah.
Then people were like, oh, this is so easy and fun. So it really depends where people are finding it. It just launched on Amazon. and
That's great.
Walmart.com. So
Great.
exciting, but we're finding there, we're just another product in a mass of products.
Yeah.
Well, differentiation is such a hard thing in any industry, and especially in the pet food industry, because there's so many, and not even healthy options, but there's so many well-branded, treats, foods, toppers out there, and it's so hard to just be. How do you get out in front of people? And that's one of the big things. That's
How do you get out in front? And when you are a small company like ours,
Yep.
and we are self-funded at the moment, I don't know if your listeners care about that, but that's the truth. And it's harder to get out there, like on Amazon, because you need to do the ad spends on everything that you do. Where you hope that word of mouth will work. You hope that on social, I mean, you're trying to build your social account.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's not easy, and it takes time, and it takes patience, which
and it does take a little bit of buy-in too. Like, people have to be willing to just try. You know what I mean? And that's really all. And I think once you there's like a critical mass that you hit, and then you're like, oh, well, that's so cool. Or I've heard about that. Or yeah, that's the cutest thing. You know what I mean?
It is being out there all the time. So I said, we do pop-up. So that's just to get our name out there, whether or not the pop-up someone even buys, but then we do a local art. We did a summer market. It was for basically artists. So there weren't really any pet people there, but it was to support the artists in the Brooklyn community, and they're there. And so it was like, oh, wait, we saw them at the store. Now we see them here. We did the first national pet show in Las Vegas called Super Zoo.
Oh, yeah. I was like, yes, that's Super Zoo.
Okay, that's how we met. Okay. And a zoo it is. But again, just getting your name out there. And Robert, you're doing the same. It's like, and Sam, you're both, it's like, how do we grow? We have this amazing product. We know it checks all the boxes. And when I say check the boxes, it's organic. It has nothing artificial added. As Jackie likes to say, nothing icky. Nothing icky is added.
That's good.
It is eco-friendly. Okay.
That's a big one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? You would think more companies would have that. And it's hard for a small brand because the minimums everyone wants us to place are huge.
Right.
And actually our packaging, our pouches are from a Canadian company. Wow. They were willing to work with us. We love
Canada.
That it's made in a renewable energy facility, which is also wonderful for us. Because it just aligns with us.
Right.
All our ingredients are from the US. We're made in upstate New York. So we're trying to stay as local as possible. And but it's not easy.
Yeah. And I think when you have those very real ideals that you really want to stick with, you realize how hard it is to actually do things the right way. And it definitely takes a little bit more time and a little bit more understanding. And I really think that once you kind of reach out to people and they can be part of something too, that aligns with their ideals. Yes. I really think that is huge, and you don't compromise that. It's worth the time it takes.
That is huge, the aligning. And I think it's like 80% or 90 now. I should know this quote off the top of my head, and unfortunately I'm going to get it wrong. It's 80 or 90. Feel two things. I get them mixed. I think it's 80% feel that they want their pets to basically eat similar, their same values. They care about that.
That is true.
90% now care about sustainability for their pet products.
Yeah.
So once again, the two, we have that covered. We get asked at a lot of shows, can I eat this?
I was going to ask, have you tried it yourself?
My husband has.
There you go. See, we're the same.
Yeah, one and the same. I think we're related. We're just not in the Midwest. Anyway, but you're not going to like it. And why? It has no added sugar.
Yeah.
It has no added salt.
Right.
So those are the things that unfortunately humans want in their treats. Dogs and cats, they don't need it there. They really don't. So when I go to buy something for Cooper and I read the ingredient label, I'm like, sugar? Why? And sugar comes in many different forms, like
Right.
molasses, honey. I'm like,
Yeah.
molasses is a common one. I'm like, Cooper does not need that.
Mm-hmm.
I look at, I am the customer. I read the ingredients of what I'm giving my dog. I'll be honest, my last dog, I cooked for everything. Didn't bake, but I cooked him everything. And he lived a Vizsla. He lived to 15 and a half.
Good job.
You don't know Vizslas, they're like a 60-pound dog. So anyway, Cooper, unfortunately, I said that I'm not doing that again. That was just too much. And it's funny because in today's world, there's companies that will do that.
I was going to say, you don't have to do that now, actually.
They're just expensive.
They are.
Right now, that's not in the cards for us, but it's the concern. So it goes to everything that I give him, whether it now is in kibble. I admit I give him kibble, but
okay, it's not the boogeyman. It's fine.
I'm not ashamed.
Yeah.
Not ashamed. He gets kibble, and but doesn't have icky stuff added. But anyway, but I care. And that's why for me, our products are about caring and our whole company. And yes, I'm not to say we're the only ones. There's other companies out there that care just as much. And I mean, the pet world, and it's changing, and it is a competitive environment.
It is a very competitive environment. And it's also, I think, a hard one to break into as far as veterinarians can be a little bit like we're sometimes a little bit like cynical, like, what's in this? What exactly are you doing? Just because we have seen a lot of poorly done things harm animals. Obviously, that's not the case here, but we really are. We can be a fickle bunch to say, well, you have to prove to me that this is going to be safe before I'm going to tell anybody it's okay.
Understandably so. And we also like to say we're free of top allergens, okay? Because we're plant-based, but we're wheat-free. There's no soy, there's no chicken, beef. I mean, all the, I don't have to again tell you, I mean, the top allergens we're free of. So it also gives it the opportunity for those pet owners who are looking for something for their dog or cat, and they're finding it hard to. I remember when Henry, that was my last dog, and he had gotten on in years, maybe he was like 14, and he was starting to have a little kidney problems. And the vet said, watch his protein. So I was all over that. And I would go to buy him treats, and I'd be like, too much protein, too much protein. There wasn't any really plant-based treats. Now there's protein in plant-based. We want a little, but it doesn't have those high amounts that he didn't need in his treats, because he was getting enough in his diet,
in his food.
So I found it very hard. And I'm sure you realize that when you're recommending to your, the pets that you care for as veterinarians, that could be a challenge.
Well, and we're dealing with all sorts of different disease processes, right? And so a lot of times, and it is a really big concern people have, especially when they have a patient, like a pet that, all of a sudden now has to be on some restricted diet for whatever reason, whether it's kidney disease, liver disease, allergies, I mean, the list goes on, diabetes, like there's really a ton of things. But the idea, sometimes the thing that is the barrier to entry for some owners is, well, can they have treats anymore? Like that, you know what I mean? Like they're like, wait, but can I still give them treats, And so it is nice to be able to have something that you're like, you know what? Yeah, you can. This is a way to do it.
Yeah. I've been trying to get into my local vet. They're not as open. Not that they love my product. They actually love my product. So I'm not going to say they love it, but they only right now carry like one line. And it's a great line that I love because I actually buy it. Sometimes I swear I'm their best customer. And but I'm like, what about me? What about me? So maybe one day. I mean, because we do believe that we're a natural fit also to be in veterinarian offices, who are now selling product, because we align with the vets. We're not out there doing anything that a vet would not be like, yay, this is great. And obviously that's why you have me on the show, because if you didn't agree, you'd be like, no.
Well, and the thing is, I think you said something very wise too, which is the fact that people have a very specific way they want to feed their dogs. It often has to do with how they eat. And I feel like we could just keep, kind of having these conversations and always recommending the same food to everybody, but that's not going to work. And then they're not going to take your advice. And I can't tell you, more often than not, I have conversations with people. I'm like, okay, what are your food values? How do you eat? Because now I know how to tell you what I think you should be looking at. And
Right.
so
yeah, I'm looking right here because I wanted to give you the right information. Actually, thing here that says 7 in 10 US pet owners say yes to plant-based proteins and environmentally friendly labeling. 80% want their pet's food to be as healthy as their own.
Mhm.
Okay. Another important statistic, just as a side note, obesity. Part of what was our driving force. I mean, it started all with the story of the fat cat, but we want to do our health. And that's because, according to the Association for Pet Obesity Prevention in 2022, 59% of dogs and 61% of cats were classified as overweight or obese. And
I actually think that's low.
Okay.
So do I.
2023, it's up. Okay. Yeah. And we know, right? And if they're obese or even overweight, it's going to increase their risk for cancer, diabetes, heart disease, joint problems.
Well, everything inflammatory. You said it yourself. Fat is inflammation, and that is what happens.
Yeah. And it's sad because we can help we love these pets more than anything. Mm-hmm. I mean, we know our dogs and cats are everything to us.
Right.
So you would think that people would want to do what's best for them. Oh, I think it is 90. I'm sorry, I just want to confirm the other quote that I was missing. It's 90% of pet owners do say sustainability is essential.
So there you go. You were right. I think that's what you said. But I think you're good. But I think, the thing is that we show love through food. And that's how we always have comfort. I mean, you're a nutritionist. I'm not telling anything you don't know. And so that is why we have so many overweight pets, because people can't help themselves. They're like, oh, but you're okay, here's a treat. Okay, here's a treat.
I mean, living in Manhattan, okay, in my building where I live now with Cooper, he doesn't get that. What Henry used to get was there were the doormen in the building that would have treats in their pockets and see a dog and throw them a treat.
Yep.
Because they knew they also wanted to connect. They wanted the dog to love them. And I totally understood it, but I became one of those crazy ones, was like, no. Henry doesn't need it. I mean, they thought it's because I was a registered dietitian, whatever, maybe, but he didn't need their treat. One, because I didn't really love what was in it, but two, he didn't need the extra treats from them. If he was going to get a treat, it was going to come from my hands.
Right.
Which is a whole other training conversation.
For another podcast.
Everything I've learned through Cooper and his training for the last 3 years, because he's still being trained. Anyway, I might know food. I know training. I'm just not as good at it. But anyway,
training's tough. That's a whole different animal there with training. It's complicated. It's a lifelong journey. Like eventually, if you don't keep up on it, they just get worse and they don't care. Or mine's just getting old and he just really doesn't care.
And then they just, But I think too, just when you think you have it right, you get a different dog. And everything that worked with the last dog doesn't work with this dog.
Right.
Or just when you think your dog is finally listening, they're like, not today.
I don't feel like it. It's very similar. I have 3 children and a dog that doesn't listen to me. So, I mean, I'm just used to that.
It's the same, but no, it is funny. One of the things is that the owner should be the only one that gives the treat. Mostly, not saying only, but so they know, at least in certain situations.
Definitely not at the vet. We use food to our advantage.
100% you need to.
Yeah.
And I don't know, do you use, and it's not the best, the cheese?
We do.
I get it. Anything to make them happier at the vet.
And that's the thing. I mean, like we have the little lick mats and we have them so we can move them around to different areas so that it can assist with our exam. And I would say probably 80% of dogs are like, what is this that I'm eating? This is the greatest thing ever, but that's true. But I figure it's like a lollipop at the doctor. Like you don't get it every day. And people are like, oh, where did you get that? I'm like, no. This is not for you. This is just for me.
This is just for me.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. It's like afterwards, I have to tell Cooper, Do not expect this at home. Okay.
Never.
Anywhere else. It's only at the vet's office. Actually, he's gotten so much better at the vet's office that they don't even need to give it to him anymore.
Yeah.
Not that I'd be welcome to it though. Why not give him a little extra, whatever it is, if it will make him happy.
I just like to distract them when I'm giving shots because I don't want them to be aware. I have no interest in them hurting, or like when I'm looking in their ears because it's uncomfortable, but.
Yeah, agreed.
That's where a lot of the fear-free, modeling comes from too. We want to make it like a happy environment for them. And I've actually had quite a few conversations with veterinarians who are actually doing mobile practice right now. And they say how much they love their work now because like they go to the home, pets are happier, they're not scared, and they can bring some of those fear-free practices into the home. And it just, you might see a shift one day, honestly, with how many people are doing it.
But I'll tell you something funny. See, it's again different, I think, where you live or the dog. Cooper sometimes pulls me to the vet. He associates the vet with, treats.
Yeah.
So he actually wants to go there. He does not mind going to the to the vet. And one day, the weirdest thing, because again, New York City, walking, I was like, we're not going to that vet. We're not going to the vet. And I turned the corner to go a completely different way. And somehow he remembered his old vet. And then he started to his old vet. Well, if I couldn't get it at that vet, I'm going to get it at this other vet.
Yeah.
I was like very proud of him for being so smart.
Yeah,
but
very smart.
A little aggravated because that was not how I wanted our walk to go. But anyway.
Well, what kind of dog is he?
Cooper's a Vizsla.
Oh, I was going to say, is it, that's your breed?
I know what people do. They get one crazy breed and then they're like, I'll stick with the crazy breed. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, I was going to say, Robert has a husky, so he can tell you all about that.
What? He's an angel.
I think I told you when we spoke last, Cooper has a very good friend called GQ. And he's a big husky. Yep. And so many people, when he gets walked in the city, are afraid of him because he's big and he's very vocal.
Yes.
He's like one of Cooper's best friends. Cooper sees him. He's all like, GQ. I mean, it's a little embarrassing how he gets with GQ, but he's so excited to see him.
A little embarrassing.
It is. He acts like a little like he Cooper can tend to be alpha, which not to say that I'm proud of, because actually I'm not. But with GQ, he's the opposite. He kind of like, all right, GQ, whatever you say, you're the man. You're the man.
Well, his name is GQ. So he's got to be the man.
Right. Cooper's like, I'm only Cooper. I mean, it doesn't compare. So yeah, they're funny. Dogs, they're the best.
They really are. They bring so much. Like, I think that's why you talked about the humanization of pets and like how they become part of our families. And that's honestly why I love talking to you guys at Super Zoo, because I think it's something that no one else is really doing. Like bringing that, like baking with your pets, kind of a cool thing. It's a cool story.
I don't think I've ever heard of anybody doing it. I think this is so unique and so fun. And I think it's great. You're going to have the prepared ones, but there's something so just like absolutely loving about baking for somebody. And I love it.
Yeah, no, because it shows it's love, right?
Just the nostalgia of it too.
Yeah. And it's such a fun activity with kids.
Oh, I can't wait. My kids are literally so excited. They cannot wait. And I was thinking about it too, because, we're coming up on holiday season. I feel like there's so much more time with family, and there's so, you know what I mean? I feel like Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, like whatever, you have the time to be with your family. That's when you bake, I love that. I mean, I think this is good. This is good timing.
This is your season.
And why shouldn't our pets get some of those special treats also during the holiday season? Why should it just be for the humans?
Right.
So if we're having the pumpkin pie, why can't they have their thumbprint cookie with a little pumpkin?
And hey, maybe they'll be less likely to climb up on the counter and steal the cookies that will send them to go see Robert if we have these ones made for them.
Let's avoid that if we can. I don't like to be any busier over the holidays than I am. So
definitely, we don't want that. We want to let their own treats, not our treats.
Exactly. Now we still don't want them probably to eat them all at once, like they tend to do.
That's the other thing. It's so funny. We talk about this obesity problem, and we consider it's totally weight friendly. But that means if you're giving them 1 to 2 a day, depending upon the size, it doesn't mean like baking up the 30 cookies and saying, here, have 30 cookies at once. No, that's not what we're saying.
Oh, how long are they good for? So and how do you recommend storing them?
Okay, because there's nothing added,
Mhm.
no preservatives or anything. Basically, after you bake them, I mean, could they stay on the counter for a day or two? Sure, but I would put them in the refrigerator
Okay.
and in there for about a week, and then after that, you freeze them,
Oh.
and you can just take out a bunch at a time, put them in the refrigerator, they'll defrost, and then give them to your pet, your dog or your cat accordingly. The pouches, though, those last over a year. They're shelf stable over a year, but it's the finished product, the baked goods.
Okay, perfect.
I think
That's
that's
always
great.
good to know. I love this. I am very, very excited about baking these. I cannot tell you how excited I am. I'm just going to show them again because I love them. They're so cute.
And then you tell all your friends, and
Exactly.
once you bake them, and that's the thing, holidays, bake them up for the neighbors. Okay.
Oh, it's a great stocking stuffer.
I
Yeah.
was going to say, Rich, you know, for the pet people in your lives that have dog or cats, they would love to receive this as a gift. Okay.
I agree with that.
Who wouldn't want it as a gift?
Yeah. I don't have a cat currently, so I'm going to make this and then bring it to work for everybody to bring home because everybody else has cats that I work with.
Okay. I don't either. Wait, Robert, you have a cat and a dog?
No, I just have a dog. He's the one and only.
Dog people on here, just dog people.
If my dog liked cats, I would, but he likes to eat cats, unfortunately. So
yeah.
No, it's funny because we've been asked by like PR people for Jackie and I to have a picture, to get some pictures of baby Duke and Cooper together. And we're like,
be cute.
what are you not understanding? Cat, dog didn't grow up together. No, that's never happening. It's
Doesn't work.
need to get Cooper to even pose with me.
Yeah.
All right. I want him to. He's not.
You're going to have to superimpose the cat next to like that's going to be all Photoshop. I don't think that's going to happen in person.
It's not happening in the real life together. No.
Exactly. That's so funny.
That is
very true though.
And I love cats. I'm just going to put it out there. We would have a cat. We just don't happen to have a cat. We have 2 guinea pigs right now. That would be cat food if we, yes. So
I want to put it out there that I love all pets.
Yeah.
I love all animals.
Mm-hmm.
I really, and you know, maybe one day I'll live on my farm. I mean, people laugh. They're like, Keri, you're a diehard city girl.
I was going to say, are you going to be on a farm?
Sit down, let me dream. I'm living on a farm. I'm having multiple dogs, having maybe a kitten, maybe. I can't guarantee that one, but I'm having chickens, maybe a goat or 2.
There you go.
I just think. And then I'm baking up the cookies, and I'm running Peterra from my farm in I don't know where.
Yeah.
And then
that sounds wonderful.
It has a pickleball court. So anyway.
There you go.
I don't know. Let's see. One can dream.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And if people want to, you know, we mentioned Amazon and Walmart earlier.
Or a website.
The website. Do you want to tell us your website so people can find it easily?
Website's PeterraKitchen.com. I don't know if you do any show notes. It will, because it's spelled pet. The whole idea is Peterra, Peterra, and it's pet and terra kind of combined for pet and earth, because again, our 2 concerns, and that's how we came up with the name. So Peterra.com, you can subscribe when you get on, subscribe to our newsletter. We send out some really fun stuff, and then we have special offerings of discounts throughout the year, off our treats. I mean, actually, is this airing in October?
Well, we have some flexibility about when we can air. So if there's a specific time,
we do have a trick or treat 15 discount going in October.
Okay.
Trick or 15, where you can apply the coupon, but we'll have a holiday one we usually do, so you can be on the lookout for those. But once you buy and subscribe, you then get knowledge of any time we're having any special offering.
Oh, we love that. And then if people ever have questions for us, and we can always, you know, pass them on to you.
And they can also follow us on social, Instagram, Facebook.
And that should all be connected. So when we post, we try to make sure that everybody kind of is aware of what's happening. But they can always email us at podcast@mybalto.com as well. And we can send stuff your way too. So
love that. Love us all staying connected. That's
it's wonderful.
Right?
Yeah. And we love what you're doing. And we can't thank you enough for coming to visit us. This has been, I mean, first off, we could just talk to you all day, but it's so easy to chat with you. But you guys, you're doing something very cool, very unique, very different, but I think you're doing it well. And I think that's what we're excited to really kind of put out there.
Thank you. And thank you for inviting me on your show to talk about what we're doing. It's really appreciated. And who knows, maybe I'll come back again when we have more news to share.
We would love to have you back anytime. You're always welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. This has been the Pause It podcast. Thanks everybody for listening.
Thanks, guys.